Alright, so I don't have the best setup, but it's hard to move this thing around. I'll show you where I actually am after I'm done here, because you can't open any menu, alright? But I've gotten all of the gears that I can, and I'm trying to get springs, but look, it's sort of coming out in spurts. See? It just pukes out some, waits a little bit, and then out more comes. Now it might be different if you kind of had it more, I guess, on an angle facing down, if that makes sense. But man, it's hard to move this thing around, and I will show you exactly where to go for this. This was very difficult to get this thing here, but I just was diligent after many failures, and I'm really hoping that I can set this thing down again to be able to save. But yeah, you have to have the thing sitting flat down on the bottom for it to stop the glitchiness, and you can see some weird movements. See, look at that. See, everything's slowing down. It's that glitchiness that happens when you're doing a glitch. Anyway, the bottom line is this is possible, but you really want to use a chest. I used a metal weapon before when I was in the desert area. It just didn't have enough oomph to do it, and plus I didn't like the terrain. Anyway, there are some things you need to do in order to make this happen, and let me get the rest of these parts and I'll talk to you in a minute. Alright, that was dicey for a minute because some stupid bokoblins came by on horses. Well, anyway, one guy did. But as you can see, I have 999 springs and 999 gears. It would have been nice if I could have had, well, here we got the springs, we got the gear. It would have been nice if I could have gotten the shaft or the ancient core, but man, I'm calling it a day. I was able to save. Yeah, you're not supposed to enter any menus while you're doing this, but it's so hard to flip that stupid Guardian over, so I just took a chance when I heard the music playing right, no glitchy feeling, and I hit the menu saved. Now I'm getting out of here, and I'll show you where I was in the beginning. Alright, just for a reference while I'm just waiting here, I went to the Woodland Tower, and you'll see, I'm going to back up here. You'll see where I'm at. This is my, you know, fancy pointing thing. Anyway, so I'm here now. As you can see, I put a little treasure chest where the Guardian is, and I put another treasure chest over here. Let me zoom out here. This is my technical way of approaching this. Here, let me just get rid of this stamp. Okay, delete that. The way I could tell how far I needed to go from point A to point B is I measured it, right? So on my screen, I needed to move it 2.5 inches away from the point of where the Guardian is. So you could move it any direction, but as you can see, you'd be in the Lost Woods here. That wouldn't work going up. Going over here, you'd get into this region, which would really stink, all the mountains. Going down here, you'd have to go across waters and bridges and stuff. So yeah, it's a challenge, but let me go ahead and warp over to here. It works. See, the stupid thing is still upside down. Man, I'll tell you what, even with the chest, it is hard to make the thing turn over. It really is. I mean, for real. So, here we go. Alright, so here I am at the Woodland Tower, and I want to go, here is where the actual thing is, so this is where you want to go, but I think it's here. Let's actually look. Alright, I'm standing in the skull's eyeball, alright, sounds really strange to say. And as you can see down here, there's a platform. Here's where that platform is, alright? I put a pin on there. The reason why this is important and why I chose this particular location to farm using the Guardian here is because there's a chest on top of here. That's important. Alright, so there you go. There's the chest. You don't have to use any other of the weapons. And then you're going to come down here. I'm doing this with one hand because I don't want to set up the stupid tripod. And there's the Guardian down there. Alright, there it is. And this is the one that starts spewing various parts. One of them. I'll show you on the map where some other ones are, but the point is you have to get this guy from here all the way over to here. Doesn't seem very far, but when you consider the terrain and the fact that this thing is stuck in this gooey muck that you can't touch, I did two routes. You know, one that ended in failure because I accidentally hit a menu, but going through here, and then I went over and down somehow. I think I started here. And I went like over, around, and then up. And then, over. I accidentally went into the lake, got out of there. You know, basically along here until I finally ended up here. It's a lot easier said than done. The second, well, okay, the actual winning time that I just finished, I went from here. I went down here. Over to here, up, through here, and then kind of made my way, you know, up and around through this stuff. You know, I think I might have gone, yeah, along the coast there. Anyway, the bottom line is, yeah, I was definitely down along this point because this is all hills and mountains and stuff, so kind of made my way along here and finally brought it up to about this point. Now there's some things to consider there. There was a lot of lightning and stuff going on. My failure time. So what I messed up on is when I started, you know, my metal stuff started zapping, I instinctively went to unequip it, and that's when the game froze. So this time, I unequipped everything except for a shield that was not metallic, and that worked out. There's a guy over here that could get me, and these guys here, but, you know, as long as I kind of stayed in this area, they were cool until I was trying to turn the thing back over. So basically, I was left pretty vulnerable at that particular point, but hey, it worked out. I got 999 of 2 items, which is awesome. So that's one spot where you're going to find whatever the guy says, some dynamic thing or whatever. I'll put a link to the video. Second one. So yeah, it's right there. There's a military training camp, and it's right there where the chest is. Second one is here, which I already said, what? Why would I do that to myself, right? I mean, look, it's the Hyrule Castle's right there. You're going to be messed up because you're going to have to move this thing. Let's see, 2.5 inches. Which, let's see where that brings us to. Hold on. This is very technical, of course. 2.5 inches. Yeah, you're going to have to bring it all the way down to here somewhere, right? Or over here, or over here. That's not realistic. I mean, you could do it. I did it up here, which really stunk. This is another one here, the green pin. But that's right near Zora's domain. I guess you could maybe kind of go along this way or whatever, but once again, when you're considering this 2.5 inches on my monitor, yours is probably different. Well, anyway, it's upside down, but look where you're going, man. I mean, this is a far distance. 2.5 inches. You're kind of getting through water and everything. So the one to me that is, you know, very possible, which I did, obviously it's possible. All of them are, but it'd be harder. It's hard to push the stupid thing up a mountain. Is this one by the Woodland Tower. That one I think would be out. If you kind of knocked out all the enemies, this one here would be probably actually pretty okay, but you'd have to get all these guys exterminated. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then over here is the number 4 right in this location, okay, in this little lake to the south of Duval Peak. And that was really easy to move it from point A to point B. The problem, though, is that there wasn't any metallic chest nearby, and I don't have any amiibos because I refuse anyway. So moving that, I mean, you're just knocking this puppy down, you know, here, knocking down here, knocking down here, coming over, knocking down here, and you're bringing it over right to about here. Okay, so here's that shrine. You're moving it to about here. So the distance is cool, but then you're also dealing with sandstorms and that kind of thing, which really it makes it kind of a gloomy, nasty atmosphere. And I couldn't for the life of me turn the stupid thing back over. And it was really dicey. So anyway, yeah, so those are the 4 locations you can try of those guardians. Moving it from here to 2.5 inches. Look here. 2.5 inches, boink. That's consistent, and you can look at the map, you know, for these zones or whatever. But yeah, that's what I found out on my monitor. So from here to about there. So there's 1, and there's 2, and there's 3, and there's 4. Anyway, try it out. I got 999 of each. The other thing that I must say is that you have to consider that you don't necessarily know what you're going to be picking up. In the video that I'll link to, he'll show you how you can tell what it's going to drop. But after I did it, I think the first time, when I lifted them, nothing dropped. So really, it was just random chance. Once I got it to point B, whatever came out is what came out. A real bummer is that I was actively doing it down here, and I was getting cores, gears, springs, boom, 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 but then, you know, the game froze. That happened to me. I froze on that maybe 3 or 4 times. I froze, you know, crashed the game here a couple times, and it takes a long time to move from point A to point B. So, you know, you get what you get. Regardless, how in the world else are you going to get this many of these parts, right? I mean, it's going to take you a long, long time. I'd like to get the shafts and the cores. Maybe I'll try that again another time, but I don't have the patience right now. Anyway, so this is kind of a tutorial. You will find out on your own just how much it stinks to move these stupid guardians around, because I'm telling you, moving this thing is a pain. It truly is a pain. You kind of have to get the thing behind it and pull it up and pull it this way and everything. But you'll find out pushing from the top or pushing from the bottom, that's probably the best, and taking your time and being patient. Anyway, that's sort of a tutorial here. I don't have a capture card or anything, duh. But hey, at least you can see I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not photoshopping anything. So anyway, yeah, I hope you can try this out. Get some parts for sort of free with a lot of work. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.